That's something that, to me, is extremely meaningful. Because if you take an ancient symbol, which is a religious symbol, and you break it down to a point where you say, well, I know that's a religious symbol, but why does it look like that? What does it mean? I mean, is there a reason that this symbol looks like it does that has a relevance to me as a human being? Or is it just something to hang around my neck? I mean, everybody hangs a cross around their neck. Does that mean if Jesus had lived in 1996, they'd be hanging an electric chair around their neck? Or a gun, or a needle, a hypodermic needle, or whatever they do to people nowadays. But you have, in the center of your brain, what is called the fornix. And the fornix is the vault. It is the tomb. It is also the furnace. It is the place that we have found, and you have the documentation, where the only thing that goes through there is an energy called for Amen. Amen. And then when we looked at approaching that is to say, well, how would you approach this fornix? We found the brain waves that move through your brain are called beta, alpha, theta, and delta. And there, when we went and we looked at the Stedman's Medical Encyclopedia, we came to, if you look at page 32 and page 33, is anybody, just raise your hand if you don't have this stuff. Okay. I'm going to ask if somebody would do a favor, and if somebody could kind of maybe sit near people that don't have this stuff or show it to them so they can see, because it's really unfortunate if, okay, and we need to, Anne-Marie, okay, you got one there? All right, that's good. If you look at page 32 and 33, and you look at the various waves of the brain, you don't have one either. Do you have one, Joan?
I have my glasses, I just gave mine away.
Okay. She didn't have a glass. All right, well, that's fine. But if you look at page 32 and 33, you see the beta wave, the alpha rhythm, the theta rhythm, and then you get down to delta wave. But what's amazing is when you go to the next page, Stedman's Medical Dictionary takes you with delta to delta fornicus. They take you to the fornix of the brain, a delta fornicus. And so then we look not only at the triangular formation of the fornix, but in addition to that, we look at that 4-cycle rhythm and say, does our meditation take us to that very amazing point in the brain, which is the fornix at delta fornix? So we have the delta fornix, which is in your head. And then as we were looking, if you remember, we found in the sky a constellation, and the constellation is called Fornax. Fornax. And that's the furnace, which we're going to be talking a little bit about today. But the interesting point about that is that if you look on page 38 of that material that you have there, you'll see that the bright star in the constellation Fornax, which is located right there at Fornax, and see on page 38 at the bottom of the page, the bright star in the constellation Fornax is delta fornix. So there then we found that as you have in the brain delta fornix, you have in the sky delta fornix. Last week, remember, we talked about that constellation which is right next to the fornax, which is the furnace, the constellation Phoenix, the firebird. We went into that and so forth and so on. So this became very, very interesting to us. But this is what I thought was interesting. If Al, if you could give me a little bit less light, but just maybe if you just turn these off, and if you could get in on this for the people home, or wherever they're at, Charles. But what's interesting is this. If you take, you see, well, you can see that. All right. If you take delta fornix from your brain, now there's delta fornix. That's the sign of delta. That's the Greek symbol. That's delta. All right? And this would be delta fornix. because it would be from your brain reaching up to the sky, reaching up to heaven, to God, whatever. That's delta fornix. Then, if you would take delta fornax reaching down from the sky to you, there you have it. So now, you have a whole different meaning for this, don't you? And you realize why this is the seal of Sal, Om, On. Sal meaning the sun, Om meaning the energy that goes through the chakras, and On meaning the city of the sun, which is the name of the city of the sun. So it's no longer the Jewish Star of David or any of that stuff. And if it is the seal of Solomon, now you're beginning to understand that this is intersecting deltas. And when you say you have intersecting deltas, you have a delta coming down from fornix, you have a delta going up from fornix, and together they intersect and make this star. Okay? And it doesn't make any difference whether somebody says, well, I don't know if it means that. That's fine. But the point is there is a delta fornix, and we've proved that, and you've got that in the material, and there is a delta fornix, and we've proved that. And we didn't prove it through any New Age magazines. We proved it through Stedman's Medical Dictionary and Grolier's and so forth and so on. And so I thought, to me, you know, then I would have some logical explanation of then why this sign would have significance. Otherwise, if somebody hangs it around your neck, oh, that's pretty. Is that, where'd you get that? Well, you know, did you buy that at the jewel? No. I'm not interested in what somebody says the star looks like. I'm interested in knowing what relevance does it have to me. Now, what relevance does this have to you? The relevance that it has to you is that going up delta fornix means the energy that goes up from you out of the fornix through that pyramid, which we know is in the hypoglossal area, and the energy that comes down from Orion, which would be indicated by fornax, intersecting into you, and as that delta comes down, intersecting with the delta going up, it creates the symbol, the Greek symbol of the intersecting triangles, or that communion between you and God, if you would, through meditation.